13. Lesbianism. Not much here. A brief mention of 2 women who were lesbians but who became Christians and apparent heterosexuals, and a mention of a woman who had been happy as a heterosexual but later became a lesbian. Quoting Conservapedia, political activity and involvement in feminist causes changed her into a lesbian. The reference here is to a WorldNet Daily article titled Feminism Turned Me into a Lesbian. They are, of course, trying to show that homosexuality is a choice, again, one that feminism can lead to. Also, apparently, they haven't heard about the fluidity of sexuality among women. And they used WorldNet Daily as a source. That's pretty bad when you got to stoop that low. Health effects of the homosexual lifestyle. I'm only going to talk about number 10 here, briefly, because as I said before, this would be like a whole other article. Homosexuality and obesity. All I'm going to say about this is look at the picture. A stout Stephen Fry holding a cake. And under the caption pointing out that Stephen Fry is an atheist and a homosexual. Then the link under this section to atheism and obesity. Clearly they're trying to link homosexuality and atheism and obesity. Idiots. Number 15, homosexuality and illegal drug use. Yeah, we know, gay use drugs. So does everyone else. Number 16, homosexuality and the suppression of religious liberty. Now there's a list here, but rather than go through the list, I decided to look at the references for this section, and I put them in an Excel file to sort them out nice and neatly. Now you'll see that this is color-coded. If you can't see the references very well, that's okay, the colors will do it. The ones in pink are from WorldNet Daily. WorldNet Daily is a scurrilous rag and a notoriously unreliable source. If you are unaware of this, do some research on it. I automatically dismiss anything from them. Next are the ones in yellow. These all come from biased Christian conservative sources. I checked them out to be sure. I dismiss these references as well. And not just because they are from Christian sources. Remember, I checked them out. They're very biased. There are some duplicate entries there in light gray and can be dismissed, and one in dark gray is a broken link that I couldn't find when I did a search otherwise. That leaves 3. One is a Time magazine article called In a Rage Over AIDS from December 25th, 1989. Well, what this is about is an ACT UP demonstration at St. Patrick's Cathedral. ACT UP doesn't represent all homosexuals. Even a number of ACT UP members thought that this demonstration went too far, calling it counterproductive. Why this protest? Well, according to the article, New York City's Cardinal O'Connor is a favorite target of AIDS and abortion rights protesters. He is among the most outspoken of Catholic bishops in condemning homosexuality and opposing condom use to prevent AIDS. Many demonstrators shouted that O'Connor was killing them, in this case meaning gays. His stubborn refusal to even look at the data concerning AIDS and condoms is what led to this. And as for vandalism, I don't know how much there actually was, but ACT UP member Mark Kostopoulos declares, "It's easier to scrape off paint than raise the dead." And this is the last 2 are labeled the homosexual riots of 1993. I'm going to refer you to a YouTube video, which I will link below. This is a very slanted report by the Christian Broadcast Network. They show a gathering of Christian ministers at the San Francisco Board of Supervisors that happened after the original event. They are trying to paint the protest of violence, but they fail. Basically, they're simply complaining about a protest. This protest was because notorious homophobe Lou Sheldon was speaking at a church in San Francisco. I remember this. Asking Sheldon to speak at this time in history was a deliberate provocation of the gay community. A protest is hardly a suppression of religious liberty. Now, the second of the 2 links actually isn't relevant. It doesn't talk about the original protest, but to the gathering of the ministers that happened later. But watch the video. I find it enjoyable considering how hard they try to paint the protesters as being bad and how they fail. Number 17, Roman Catholic Church, homosexuality, and the sexual molestation of minors. Most children and adolescents are molested by heterosexual males regardless of the sex of the child. This is again the slander that pedophilia and homosexuality are inexorably connected. Number 18, HIV-infected adolescents and young adults in America and infection by older men. Well, again, homosexuality equals pedophilia. Number 19, homosexuality in schools. Link to another Conservapedia article. And right up front is Traditional Family Values Coalition states children targeted for recruitment into homosexuality by the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. More homosexuality equals pedophilia equals they're trying to recruit our children, balderdash. According to Right Wing Watch, the Traditional Values Coalition is a small but influential organization that appears to consist mostly of the Reverend Lou Sheldon, remember him, and his daughter Andrea Sheldon Lafferty. Both are mainstays on the conservative circuit, although their reputation has been damaged by revelations that Lou Sheldon took money from disgraced lobbyist Jack Abramoff to help kill an anti-gambling bill that would have hurt one of Abramoff's clients. Yeah. Number 20. Homosexual parenting in the American College of Pediatricians. Well, remember, the American College of Pediatricians is not a legitimate organization. It was created simply to oppose homosexuality, and anything it says is absolutely freaking worthless. 21. Homosexuality in the media. Liberal bias, of course. I'm going to skip this for the most part. However, there is something here that I'm going to talk about later. The homosexual agenda from Conservapedia. There were publications in 1987 and 1989 by homosexual activists Marshall Kirk and Hunter Madsen, which outlined a strategy to change America's perception of homosexuality, and it included the following 6 strategies. Number 1, talk about homosexuals and homosexuality as loudly and as often as possible. Through sheer perseverance, the opposition will be worn down. Number 2, portray homosexuals as victims, not aggressive challengers. Number 3, give homosexual protectors a just cause. Number 4, make homosexuals look good. Number 5, make the victimizers look bad. Number 6, solicit funds, for example, give corporate America and major foundations to financially support the homosexual cause. Well, my goodness, doesn't this sound terrifying? Now, the link doesn't work, but it's to a book review. Not even to the original book, but to a book review. I have no idea how accurate these statements are, but as I said before, my goodness, that sounds terrifying. So essentially the gay agenda is to portray gays in a good light, which certainly is contrary to the way they have been portrayed, and to show that gays are usually victims, which they are, and to show anti-gay bigots are bad, which they are. No wonder the right is shaking its boots about the gay agenda.